Do you ever wonder, why did you argue with that person? Make it even more general than that. You ever wondered, does arguing ever do any good? So why do we argue? Basically, what I can come up with, it's because our ego wants to be right. However, when you know something and you share what you know with someone, you're done because they're either going to get it or not get it. But when you have to repeat yourself over and over again, are you really trying to convince them or are you trying to convince yourself? Because when you know something, you don't need to say it twice. And when you get wise, you realize that unless someone asks you to repeat what you've said, they're not going to hear it. Think about that. I'll use my puppy. My puppy's not ready to hear the word stay when there's food in front of her. She's not old enough to make that association, so I don't argue with her. I do my best. Let's take it from a puppy to a child. We argue with our kid that they have to do things certain ways. And what does the child want to do? They want to play. Your job as a parent is to make sure they're safe, but allow them to play. Playing is one of the most important things that we do. In fact, I'm 72. I'm still a child. I still love to play. That means what? I'm still young. When you've stopped wanting to play, oh my God, you're old. Think about that. When was the last time you were playful? When was the last time you were curious? When was the last time you weren't stuck in the idea that you had to be right? Yeah, we've got a lot of reasons to want to be right today. More and more and more and more. It's everything is about, am I right? Can I be right here? Da 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 da. Getting old is a way of thinking. Staying young is the way you feel. And the way you feel influences how you think. Young people, young-minded people want to do new things. They want to try new things. I love it. Next week, I'll be on a cruise with my wife. And I can't wait to go and try all sorts of new things that I've not done before. Meet new people, see new things, experience new things, try new foods, read new books. I love the idea of exploring and playing, going off onto 2 different islands and figuring out, what can I do to be playful? It's fascinating how much life offers us and we don't see it. Do you ever notice that life doesn't argue with you? Life never argues with you and tells you, you need to do this, you need to do that. That's your own mind. That's your own ego. Because life is smart. It realizes it doesn't need to argue because arguing doesn't do any good. Rebecca says she wants to run away on an adventure and may not come back. Well, you don't have to come back to the old you. You can go on an adventure and come back as a new you, and your whole life is different. See, that's the perspective that I love. When I go away like I'm going to go away, I come back a different person. I come back changed, and I bring that Lee into that world. I love that Lee that changes all the time. He's the young guy. I love being with people who think new thoughts, who give me new perspectives because it challenges me to open up. Are you open to being challenged without arguing for your limitations? There's a big one. Do you argue for your limitations? And do you know who you argue with more for your limitations? Yourself. When you're arguing, you're really arguing with yourself. Think about that, because if you knew, you never would argue. It's an interesting concept. I invite you to explore it today. Explore it for the week. See how it works for you. Don't argue. Be open to new. Be a child. See life through the eyes of a child. Life is an adventure. Make yours the best ever. Much love and aloha.